guys, this is Sandra here, and as you can see I have no makeup on, which you know what it means. We're gonna get ready, and today's a really exciting get ready with me because we're going to the theatre tonight to see Wicked, which I've never seen before. So I'm really excited, and without further ado, let's zoom in and start this video. So as you can see, I have no padsy on today just because I simply don't know where it is. I don't know where any of my headbands are. So yeah, we just have to go with the clip and this really sexy updo. To prime my eyes, I'm gonna go in with my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer, and I don't have my sponge with me. Hold on, I'm back. Also, just ruined my nail polish. Don't you hate it when you think your nail polish has been dried for about half an hour just so you can go ahead and ruin it? Oh, it's the worst. I know, first world problems, I know, but it's really annoying. Oh, and it's slightly dried. So just try to blend it. Okay, I need a bit more on my left eye. If you can hear doors banging in the background, I'm so sorry. Our neighbor in the flat under us have just moved out, and they have cleaners and God knows what coming in, so there's always someone banging doors, and it's a bit annoying, but there's nothing we can do. For my eyes, I decided to use two palettes today. One of them is going to be the Naked Cherry palette, and the other one the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. They both have quite nice pinky tones in it, but I don't want to make it too pinky just because of the trousers I'm wearing. Let me show you. Quite like a reddy colour, so I don't want to go too pink. So first, to set my eyelid, I'm going to go in with Naked Cherry palette and this shade here called Hot Spot, just with the brush that comes with the palette. I actually quite like this brush. And I'm just going to set my base. I'm so excited. By the time this video goes up, we have been to the theatre probably for a while now. I have so many videos that I filmed before my parents came and then never got around to upload it because I was too busy. So I have quite a few that I have to edit before I decide to film more, because I have filmed quite a lot thinking I will have all the time in the world to edit it, but I didn't. Life has been a bit hectic lately. I'm working more than I usually do, so I'm trying my best. But basically, by the time you see this, we have been to the theatre. But if you've seen Wicked, let me know how you liked it. I'm really excited. I haven't been to the theatre in years, and I'm not exaggerating, so I'm super stoked. I love going to the theatre, especially if it's a musical. I don't know, there's something magical about them. I'm gonna go in with this shade in the Charlotte Tilbury palette, which is, I think, is the sculpting one, or what is it called? No, Smoke, sorry. Anyone, the one next to the shimmery shade, and it's the Pillow Talk palette. Did I say that? I don't know. I'm so excited, but there's so much to do. I'm still cooking, so I have a timer set up just so we can quickly eat dinner, but we're gonna go soon. But I didn't want to start my makeup too early, and yeah, it's all just a bit frantic at this point. Because once again, I'm trying to do too many things. Which, well, I guess it's better than doing nothing. Let me see if I can take the brightness down, because I feel like you can't even see what I'm doing. Just excuse me, I'm still trying to learn my way around with the camera and the lights, and that's my food. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Food is done, so now I can just concentrate on my makeup. So, I'm gonna go back in with that shade and build it up. I sort of have a plan of what sort of makeup I want. Sort of. So I'm just gonna build up this shade in the crease and in the outer corner. I'm planning to do quite a quick eye look, I think, but then I've said it before, so who knows. Okay. Repeat on the other side. I'm taking a slightly more flat brush, which is the Sigma E25 blending brush. The previous brush was the MAC 217. Yeah, it was. And I'm just gonna still go in the Charlotte Tilbury palette and take that shade, which is the Enhanced shade, which is this slightly pinky tone. And I'm just gonna apply that all over my lid. And since this brush still has a bit of a blendy tapered end, you can just blend the two colors together. If you want, you can start with this shade and then blend it out with the other one. Whichever you are more comfortable with, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So while I do that, let me know in the comments what's your favorite ever play that you've seen in the theatre. Whether it's a musical or something else, it doesn't matter. I think, what was my favorite? My favorite is actually a play from home, I think, that they don't play in the theatres here. I've seen it 5 times, I think, when I was younger. I don't think they do it anymore, but that was so much fun. We have quite a few like family friends at home, or I had teachers. I was learning how to dance. Well, I was competitively dancing for 9 years, so some of my teachers and some family friends were actually part of the dancers team, so I really loved it. And at the end they always took people to the stage, and since they knew me, I ended up on stage quite a few times at the end, just dancing with the actors and the whole cast, which as a kid is always fun. And I have such fond memories of it. But I also love Les Mis, which I might pronounce completely wrong because I've never learned French in my life. But that was a really, really nice and slightly more emotional play. Then I also loved Miss Saigon, which all of these I have seen at home, so they might be different here. But we had it's not gonna be a half a helicopter, is it? We had a helicopter landing on stage as part of the play, which was just amazing and blew my mind. And then the last play, also as next, I'm gonna go in with the shade Ambitious from the Naked Cherry palette, which is just that coppery shade. And I'm just gonna use the same brush and hope it works. Let's see. But yes, I love musicals, and the last play I've seen, it was a musical as well. It was about, I would say probably 4 years ago. I'm not sure it's as glowy as I want. Let me just spritz it with some Becca Glow Shield and hope it gives it a bit of a kick. Let's see, otherwise I might have to just go in with my finger. Oh no, there we go. Just in the middle of my lid. But yeah, that was the last play I've seen, as I said. Before this didn't work was Mamma Mia, and that was already in London. But that was about 4 or 5 years ago, so that was ages ago. And that was the last time I went to the theatre, and it was either because I didn't feel like I can spare the cash, or it was because I had no one to go with, even though on Mamma Mia I was on my own and it was fine. But I feel like these are always a bit more social and it's a bit more fun if you have someone to go with. I'm just going to go in back with the Charlotte Tilbury palette to blend the corners. So I just always feel like these are a bit more fun if you have someone to go with you. And yeah, I either didn't have enough spare cash to go, or I just didn't have someone to go with, or we just couldn't find the time. But finally we just decided about a week ago that, you know what, with my boyfriend, we're gonna book some last minute tickets. We're gonna go, because we were talking about going together as well for ages, and we were like, no more excuses, that's it, we're going. For the outer corner, I'm gonna go back in with the brush that comes with the Naked Cherry palette, and I'm gonna blend in a little bit of Drunk Dial in the outer corner. Even though a lot of people don't like shimmer, it's fine. I'm not gonna use a lot of it, and I'm not gonna apply it all around anyway, just in the outer corner. And there's quite a bit of fallout, so it's just good that I start with my eyes. And I'm just going to flip it around and blend. I have to say, it doesn't quite want to build up how I want it to. Which is a bit of a shame. But we're going to work around it. It's fine. Yeah, by the time you blend it, it doesn't even look shimmery, I have to say. I find it quite hard to do makeup and talk at the same time. I don't know why. I'm not too sure either. This video might just go up under Chatty Tuesday, in which case it won't go up till next week, which means this is Monday today, so I know I'm not going to be able to edit this video by tomorrow, I don't think. So it might just go up a week late, which is completely fine. I'm not really happy with how this blends on this corner. This side just blends so much nicer, but I find it's always the case. I don't know why. I'm just going to take the fluffy brush I used first and just blend it over. And then I can shape my eyes a bit more once I'm doing my base, so that's fine. For the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Bang Bang, again from this Naked Cherry palette. And I will wet my brush again, learning from the other color. I think I'll have to do that. I'm just using a smaller brush, dipping it in the shade, then spraying my brush. And just so it's slightly lighter in the inner corners. Oh yeah, look at that. I like that. And I'm gonna go back in with Ambitious again. And then, you know what? I'm gonna go in with a small blending brush and the shade Bing or Devilish? I think just Bing, or I'm just gonna mix Bing and Devilish on the brush. Really tap it off and just blend it in the outer corner. There we go. I'm gonna repeat it on the other side. Also, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas of what videos you would like to see from me, please let me know. But I have quite a few ideas that is still coming. I have a palette bingo coming up soon. I have a first impressions / tutorial kind of video coming up with the new number 7 palette. I have an empties video also coming. So I have a few on their way. I also realized I have a few videos that I filmed and forgot about, so those are not even relevant anymore, which is a bit sad. And also Halloween is coming, so I'm really excited about that. I have a fair few ideas. Hopefully I'm gonna have the time too. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some micellar water and the cotton pad and just clean up the mess around my eyes. Also, I still am trying to figure out what's breaking me out. I'm not too sure. I'm still really annoyed. There's just so many little bumps and there's so much texture. I don't really know what to do with it, so we're gonna just I'm just working on it. But to prime my face, I'm gonna go in with an old favorite, which is the Cover FX blurring primer. As you can see, there's not much left in this packaging. I really love this primer and I haven't used it in a hot minute, but I decided that I'm gonna bring it out again just for tonight. Blend it basically all over my face, a bit under my eye, in the center mainly, a little bit down my chin, on my forehead. And this just such an amazing job at blurring out everything. I would love to repurchase this once I'm done, and depending on how many primers I will have left, I probably will. It's one of my absolute favorites till I found it, and price wise I think it's around the £25 mark, so it's not, you know, it's not insanely expensive. I mean, it's not drugstore, but knowing what's out there high-end wise, it's not a lot of money, I feel like, or not more expensive than some other alternatives. For foundation, I'm gonna go in with the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I really enjoy this foundation, guys. It's such nice coverage. It just blends on the skin nicely. It doesn't really separate. I just really like it. I will link my review of it in the cards and in the description box. So not the review, but I have a first impressions. I think it's called like a huge haul first impressions. So I'm gonna, or try on or something along those lines. So I'm gonna link it so you guys can check it out. And even now that I use it more, the same opinions that I had there still stands. I still think it's amazing. It gives great coverage. It blends easily, it holds up well. Again, the only, oh, almost rubbed my sponge. The only bad thing I can say about it is that it's really heavily fragranced, which that's not something that broke my skin out. I haven't used it in ages, but if you have sensitive skin, then it might break you out because of all the fragrance that's in there. I don't really know why they needed that much fragrance, but the foundation itself, other than that, is perfect in my eyes. Well, my texture shows through, but the color is gone, so I can't really ask more from a foundation. To conceal, I'm going back into the same concealer as what we used to prime, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I guess I'm applying quite a fair amount. This is in the shade Fair. I'm gonna go up there as well. And it's not like anyone will see my makeup in the dark theatre room, but you know, I still like to make the extra effort. I feel like when I've been to the theatre here, people don't really dress up for it as much, whereas at home it's quite a big occasion and everyone gets dressed really pretty. I don't feel like people really do that here, but again, I've only been once so far, so correct me if I'm wrong. I still like to make a bit of an effort. Must be the Hungarian in me. And you know, it's a date night after all, so I want to be nice for my boyfriend, of course. To set my under eyes, I'm going to go in with my NYX Pro Highlight and Contour Pro palette. That's what it's called, and mine is really broken and really well used. So I'm going to go in this shade to set my under eyes. Now, my favorite brushes are still in the wash. Well, they're not in the wash, but they're drying. I just cleaned them and I didn't leave enough time for them to dry, so I just have to find other ones. But this palette is so nice. I feel like when it came out, a lot of people talked about it, and then no one really since, and I don't know why. It's such a good palette, especially for the price point. I think it's, well, I think it's around 15, 16 quid, and I think if you're really dark, this won't work. But if you're anything from a light to medium, it's perfect. I hope that they're gonna come out with another one soon for deeper skin tones, because that would be amazing, especially nowadays when everyone is banging on about, you know, the different shade ranges. I think it's important, but there are luckily plenty of brands out there who do that. I feel like my face is so bright, but never mind. We are gonna contour now, and for that I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand in the shade Fair to Medium, I think. Yes. And I'm just gonna work on one side at a time. I'm just gonna blend it in with my sponge. Oh yeah, look at the difference it can make. And then I'm gonna put a little bit just down here to make it look like I actually have a jawline. Just like so. Look at that side and that side. Is it only me who sees the difference? I don't know. But we're gonna match up now the other side. And I haven't really put any product on my forehead. I'm just pressing a bit in whatever is left on my sponge. I feel like the line is darker here. To add a little bit of flush of color, I'm only going to use a cream blush today, and then later I'm going to bronze, so it's more of a bronzy look. But I still want a little bit of blush color, so I'm going to go in with my Tom Ford Pink Sand cream blush. It was part of my Project Pan collab roulette that I always mess up the name of. It was part of that, and I'm just going to apply a little bit. I still love this blush. Even though I'm panning now another cream blush, I wanted to use this today. I'm going to apply a little bit just to the apples of the cheek. Just a little colour. I'm going to do the same on the other side. It's such a soft, subtle colour. It's so pretty. So everywhere where I haven't contoured, I'm going to go back in with the NYX palette in the same light shade. And just slightly dust it with powder. Sort of to carve out these areas a bit more. A little bit on my nose, although later I'm going to dust a little bit of bronzer there. Now I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna apply a lip balm. I'm just gonna quickly go in with the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream. I don't have too much left of it, but it seems like this tube is never ending and it's getting a bit old. It's also not cruelty free, but it does a lovely job of hydrating my lips, or sometimes I even use it on my cuticles, so I don't know why I did that whole face finger movement, but I did. Now I also wanted to line my eyes, and I think for that I'm gonna go back in on a flat brush. I could have done this before, I forgot. I'm just gonna go in on a small liner brush I had for ages. It's just an angled brush. The name is already gone. And I'm gonna just dip it in the shade Privacy, and I'm just gonna lightly, ever so lightly, blend it around my lash line to give a bit more definition and a bit more frame to my eyes. See? That's all. It makes a little bit of a difference, nothing massive, but it's still enough to be able to see even on camera. There we go. Now for under my eyes, I think we're going to go back in with the same shade Privacy, and I'm just going to apply it on the outer corner. Then I'm going to go back to the shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette that we used in the crease, which is this brownie color, and I'm going to blend the shadow out with that. Just going to get a small blending brush. For this I'm going to use the Morphe B16. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm always saying which brushes I use, but hopefully you can see anyway the type of brush I'm using. I'm just gonna lightly buff it out for a bit more drama, not too much. I feel like it could be my life sentence. I keep saying it in so many videos. I noticed just a little bit, not too much. A light dab of this brush. Perfect, I quite like how that eye turned out. Now, I'm gonna set my brows with the Wet n Wild Mega Clear Mascara, as I always do, and it will just have time to set while I do the rest of my face. I'm trying to be quick, so we still have time to eat. Although my boyfriend is not home yet, it's gonna be a tight schedule, but we'll make it. That's fine. To bring a bit more colour to the face, I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo. I'm also currently panning it in my Lust for Luxe Project Pan. Now I haven't used this brush in a while. It's just an angled brush, but it's quite fluffy, so I hope it's not gonna mess up my makeup. But my favorite Becca brush is still drying, so I'm gonna dip it in the bronzer and just bronze up my complexion. It's actually quite a nice color. Sometimes I feel like I forgot that I own this. I like to bring it down my neck as well. I feel like on camera it's not as strong as what I see in real life. I mean, you can see the difference between the two sides, so maybe, I don't know. I'm still learning, guys, I'm still learning. What I can definitely tell though, that I feel like, I will see definitely when I'm editing, but I feel like Whereas in real life I can see my texture here. I feel like the lights are washing it out, which I guess is a welcome effect, but also I want you to know that the texture is still there. Maybe I can zoom you in at the end. And yes, I do like how my makeup looks. And obviously it's not as visible as before, the color is gone, but I just want you to know that no matter what, you know, amount of makeup you're putting on top of your breakouts, there's nothing you can do with the texture. That's just gonna be there. You know, you can't real life Photoshop it. You can get rid of the color and you can play with a darker concealer, or no, I'm not saying about 5 shades darker, just maybe half a shade darker. So, you know, sort of like contouring it so it's not as prominent is the word, I think, and in your face, but there's never going to be anything that's going to completely make it disappear, because it's a bump, it's texture, it's going to be there, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to apply a little bit across the bridge of my nose, a bit down on my jawline, a bit down my neck, because I can't have my face being 5 shades darker than the rest of my body. Oh, also, another topic I wanted to talk about, cruelty-free perfumes. Please, could you leave some recommendations before? There's one brand I know about who does it in the UK. Oh, I don't know their name now. I'm gonna write it on the screen. I will figure it out, but off the top of my head now I can't think about it. And I'm just looking for some good perfumes. I just finished my favorite Burberry. In the meanwhile as well, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter in there, and I might have to use another one. We'll see if I'm just happy with this. I just finished my favorite Burberry perfume, and also my Marc Jacobs. Have I finished that? I have finished that one too, and my J. Melanie is coming to the end of its life as well. And I have another one that doesn't really have a branding, so I'm just looking for some good alternatives that are cruelty free, but I find that's the hardest bit for me, perfume, just because it's such, one, it's a lot more personal, and also everyone will smell it on you. It's not like a body wash or a body lotion that you might just use at home, you know, it's something that you wear out on the street. And perfumes are something that I like quite a few bigger names of, and I feel like it's really hard to find one that is cruelty free and I can essentially smell it in the shop. I think Diptyque is cruelty free if I'm not mistaken, so I will look into that. But also, if you have any recommendations, because Marc Jacobs Beauty is cruelty free, but Marc Jacobs fragrance isn't, which is really throwing me off. Why? Why are you doing this, Marc Jacobs, to us? Why? But there's nothing you can do, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know. Mascara, we're gonna go in with my new favorite, which is the Charlotte Tilbury False Lash Effect. I'm just realizing now that this Get Ready With Me is quite Charlotte Tilbury heavy, I'm sorry. And try to make sure that there are a few drugstore favorites in there as well, and various brands. But, you know, they truly are products I like. I'm thinking of soon filming another Sunny Recommends, which is basically just my favorites. Oh, what happened? I always do my bottom lashes first. Today I did the top. Why? And the reason why I usually do my bottom lashes first is because I have quite long top lashes, and sometimes if I look a bit more up while doing my bottom lashes, I can get mascara on my lid, and who wants that? So here's a tip for you: always start with the bottom first, or just wait before the top dries, but it's just easier to start on the bottom really, if you are someone who applies mascara to their bottom lashes. I personally like to do that. I feel like it just completes the look, but also adds a little bit of something to it. I forgot to do. I never forget it. I don't know what happened today. I think it's because I'm in such a rush. I'm going to apply a little bit of the highlighter in the inner corners and on my brow bone. I feel like this Charlotte Tilbury highlighter is not my favorite, but I think it's just because I'm used to quite stronger highlights. My favorite one is the Becca one. Well, all of the Becca ones really, the ones that suit my skin tone. My absolute favorite I think has to be though, I would say probably Vanilla Quartz I really like. But then lately I'm also using Prismatic Amethyst a lot. I also love my Too Faced Canary Diamond highlighter. It's such a pretty color. Point is, I like a bit of a blingier highlight, but I'm trying to pen this and it's still nice, it's just a bit more subtle. And maybe I can go with subtle tonight. Apply a little bit just here. I started doing this lately and I quite like it, not sure why. I was never someone to highlight the nose, and I don't necessarily like my nose shape, but this, just a little bit down with the nose, I feel like it helps to make it look a bit more, I don't know, less wonky basically, is what I'm trying to say. For my eyebrows, I'm gonna go in with the palette I'm penning as well from Illamasqua, and it has the shade Thunder in there, which is an eyebrow powder basically, and I really like this. Sometimes I mix it with Machine, which is a black eyeshadow, in there as well, just for the tail mainly. And I just, well, I say lightly. For some people this might not be so lightly filling it in, but for me I would say it's just slightly filling it in, giving it a bit more shape. See how much of a difference it can make? It's just insane. And I feel like it even makes more difference in camera than in real life for some reason. Not too sure why, but that's one done. I'm gonna match up the other one, which is always the hard task. Alright, that's as close as I can get them. I'm gonna just brush them through as well with a spoolie, just to soften them a tiniest bit. For my lips, I'm gonna go in with the shade Spice to line them. Even though it's gonna eat, I will finish this look for you on camera. Let me just take off my lip balm. I've just blotted my lip balm off, and now I'm gonna finish the look with my lips, obviously. I'm gonna go in with the MAC lip liner in the shade Spice. And just like to slightly over-align my lips, mainly the top on the outer corners, just because my top lips are a lot smaller than the bottom ones. The bottom ones I quite like, but the top ones could use a bit of help. And as you can see, even with a bit of help, they are a lot smaller, but there's not much I can do. And on top of that, I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D, what are these called? Ever Matte liquid lipsticks in the shade Double Dare. I haven't used it in ages, and I just thought it would look quite nice with this look. It's quite long lasting, and once it sets, I don't have to worry that I give my boyfriend a kiss, you know, it's gonna be all over him. So that's great. The only thing is I feel like it makes my teeth look a bit more yellow than they are. I mean, it's not like I have perfect pearly whites, but still. For my eyes, as one last step, I'm gonna go in with the Isadora ink liner in the shade Nude. That again was in my holiday haul. Just because I don't really want a dark liner for this look. That's my look finished. Let me know what you think of this look, and also please let me know what is your favorite cruelty-free perfume. As I mentioned in the video, I would love to know. I'm looking for a good alternative, and yeah, that's it. Oh no, let me set it. I'm gonna use the Becca Glow Shield. That's it. Alright, I will stop talking now because I said that's it about 5 times and I'm still here. So please, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean the world to me, and hopefully I will see you next time. But for now, I'm gonna go and enjoy some delicious food and the theatre. Have a lovely day, and bye bye.